So, the nanny state that is Canada strikes once again. Strike for the millionth billion fucking time. But here we are. So, as usual, I want to tell a little anecdotal story and then drift off from there, give my views and thoughts. A very close friend of mine, he was involved in an altercation with his common law. They had a child together, and truth be told, I've told them for many years that they were together, that she was not the one. And I swear on God, I'm not saying this in any way or form to toot my own horn. I do get stuff wrong all the time too. I am human. You know, I work with what limited information that's available to me. But for majority to most of the time, I tend to get things right, especially when it pertains to persons, people. So for this example, I've been telling him for years, my friend, this girl's trouble, and the exact sentence I would always use was, you have your hands full, you have your hands full, and on. And you know, one of the biggest examples I gave this guy was his girl was Russian. Unfortunately, she was born and raised in Canada. So that Russian courage, the boldness, that what comes with the culture, the good and the bad, it just wasn't there. What you looked at was a Russian in name only, but a pure Canadian in the cultural essence of things. And you know, there's not much to say when you grow up in a nanny state. You know, let's just continue with that for now. We'll get to that later on, maybe. Yeah, I told him this and that, and didn't listen. Went through with it again. Like many people today, like it's just apparently we just don't know from the outside. You have to be on the inside of the relationship to understand how amazing it actually is. One time I made the metaphor joke to him, and I know it may sound silly. Like, you don't need to open your eyes to know the sun is shining. You could feel the sun. Like, you know, you could feel that the sun is out. You could feel the heat. You could, even when you close your eyes, that orange background, it's always there. So you know the sun is shining. You know the sun is out there. The rays of the sun are beaming down at you, right? So you're aware. So the same thing with your relationship. I would tell them, like, whatever you're emitting inside is happening, it's emitting to the outside. So the bullshit about, no, on the inside it's actually amazing, but on the outside you guys just can't tell. Fuck off to all of you that pretends this. Honest to God, I know my metaphor might sound silly, but it makes perfect sense if you actually take the time, sit down, and listen to it. Right? What you're radiating is just what it is. It's not. There's no bullshit behind it. No hiding. No nothing. Anyway, fast forward. He has a kid. The girl goes off full off bender. You know, kill myself, kill the kid together. You know, we're gonna go out and drive at 3 a.m. strolls off a bridge, like, you know, jump off together. Ridiculous, ludicrous shit. And obviously, to nobody's surprise, this woman was on many types of medication, and obviously, you know, counselor, and she's a victim, and, you know, she deserves all the good stuff. It's just, you know, society's problems. Typical Western, you know, made up horseshit for the most part, right? She calls the cops on him over abuse. 0% chance anything happened. I can vouch. Everybody else can vouch. So can she vouch. And again, to move forward, not only was there shared evidence found by the police, she later had, shockingly, epiphany, and you know, I guess the guilt started eating into her, and she even confessed to it. My point here is this. So she confessed that nothing happened. Did she get charged? Did anything happen to her? Fuck no, nothing, right? This is Canada. This is the West. This is a woman's paradise. This is why I've said it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. When you have a bunch of immigrants that come here, majority of the time, the husband would want to go back home. Seriously, unless he's got a really good thing going on here in terms of a job. But the wife, whether she got a good job or not, they love it here. And we know why. We know why. It's like, it's not the fact that, you know, it's the human rights or the freedom or whatever. Like, let's be honest, most of you don't even have the capacity to comprehend what the fuck that is you're talking about on a much deeper level. But we know why, right? And yeah. And he had his firearm license, and he had a few guns that he would take with us to, you know, shooting practices, just shooting targets. And At some point, eventually, we're gonna go start hunting. We got a hunting licenses and all that, and everything has been dropped, but he's not allowed to get back his guns for 2 years, and even then, after is a maybe. How is this fucking fair? And obviously, the logic you understand here is the fact that he might be a danger to society, even though we have 0% shred of evidence. So that therefore we should hold on to these guns, because if we do give it to them, it would magnify his ability to cause harm to society. We get it. It's not fucking rocket science. But in what world is this fucking fair? These fucking laws of this fucking managerial nanny state. How is this fair? I have 1,000 reasons that I'm disgusted for. 1,000 reasons. And this is one of them, right? Stories like this you hear all the time. All the time. And the irony of it all is the fact that I saw a statistic the other day. And again, it's shocking to no one, not me, common sense. Majority of the time there's a crime being committed. Yes, the perpetrator would be a man. I accept that. Testosterone, aggression, even on the IQ range, on the extreme ends of the IQ, the more intelligent ones tend to be men. The more stupid, low IQ ones also tend to be men. Women are much more clustered in the middle, and evolutionary reasons why, different topic another time. So, many reasons put together. Yes, majority of crimes are committed by men against other men. That's also very important, right? Majority of crimes are committed by men against other men. But also, guess what? To nobody's surprise, majority of defenders, majority of people that actually stand up to crime, whether they're, citizen vigilantes or just citizens doing their regular duties, whatnot, it's also men. And I'm not, you could include police officers, which majority are men, and all that, right? It's men. So what happens in a world where you continuously disincentivize good men from stopping bad men? Which is the exact plot of this story here. The powers that be, the Satan worship and top powers that be, this is what they want. What happens then? They've done tests on this, like case studies, real life. I've seen a few videos myself. Now, obviously, some of them are, YouTube fake stage videos to get clicks and views and whatnot, rage bait. But I've seen many truthful ones, right? I've read in many studies that if both men and women see committed crime in front of them, majority of the time, women will walk away. A very cowardly manner. Can you blame them? Yes and no. The no part comes from the evolutionary reasons. I understand the survival instinct on their end. But with men, you see how it makes sense that when they see wrongdoing, when they see injustice, unfairness, they tend to step up much more so than, at least 8 to 9 times more than females do. But what happens when you cut these men out? What happens when you tell these men, right? Stay in your lane. You're guilty just by association of being a male. What kind of society does this lead to? And again, once again, I keep doing this. I'm not here to just solely bash on women nor men. I'm just here. I want to build bridges. But before you build bridges, first you have to remove all the shit stains on the way. Okay? Are women not aware of this? Is the ability to have a, foresight into the future, just a glimpse of it, to understand the fact that it takes good men to stop the bad men. There will always be bad men. Just like how you say, yeah, let's ban all the guns. Okay, they're going to kill your ass with knives. And as a matter of fact, just because you ban all the guns, that means you just ban all the legal way of getting guns. You think the guys that are bad, they give a fuck about that? No, they're going to go out there and get the guns any way possible. Yes, they'll pay the markup for it in the black market, but doesn't matter, they'll get it. And now all you did is strip the good men that could have defended society themselves with guns from them. That's all you did. Again, managerial nanny state. A bunch of fucking bureaucrats sitting in their offices in capital cities. They apparently know what's best for society, which majority of them are just piece of shit career politicians who's never held a real job, has never even lived in a real society for however long they've been in career politics for. And there we are. And that's how it is. And absolutely disgusting, absolutely pathetic. But I'm asking women, because you have 50% of the vote. I think it's 51% now in majority of Western countries. They make up not just absolute in terms of population, but also in terms of voting. They are the majority of voters now. Do you not have foresight to see that what this is going to lead to? Do you not understand the fact that what happens when you strip away good men from defending themselves and defending you? We already know majority of you who you vote for, and I speak to the females here. You know, your voting patterns, most of you is a joke at best. It's based on nothing but my feelings and this feels right, I'm progressive. These things are all fucking packaged and hashed out and regurgitated to be sold to you. You are the fucking product. It's like, you know, how is Facebook free? Because you're the product, right? It's the same thing. You are the product. I keep wondering, like, all this information is available, widespread all over the world now. And, you know, the human network effect alone, you know, you think if one female in a group of friends, hey, girls, like, maybe some of the shit we're doing is bullshit. Like, can we, like, look at it another way? You would think the truth would spread like wildfire. But again, that's where my disappointment in human beings come from. Yeah, the truth is spreading, but it's spreading really slow. And a lot of people like refuse to even acknowledge it. And this is one of those truths. Like, you need to understand there has to be a balance in all these things. You cannot disincentivize good men to this point, put them in a corner and expect still to be protected in a society that you condemned, the other half you have condemned to death. You know what the funny thing is? I guess maybe I could have done it in a video, but 2 weeks ago, I was on a mini trip, and a couple of my friends, and we're out there bike riding this beautiful waterfront. And who has $1 million for shit that never happened, right? Apparently, one of us four guys, we have almost hit this old, fragile boomer male, right? Almost killed them. And when this boomer, as a respectable, dutiful citizen that they are, get the fuck out of my face every time I hear about fucking boomers. When that boomer told us that, you know, we can't ride on sidewalks and, you know, it's illegal and all that. Funny how when it comes to shit like this, boomers know the fucking penal code right at the back of their skull. But when it comes to destroying their civilizations and, you know, robbing their children and being economic vampires, they seem to have, you know, all sorts of Alzheimer's and all sorts of fucking, you know, amnesia. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. That's all I gotta say. Fuck you. A long, long conversation and a long fuck you from me. It will come a time. Don't worry. How did I find out about this? I find out about it because I got a call from a bike rental place that we got the bikes from, right? We're in a different city, so naturally, obviously, we're not going to bring our bikes. It's too far. So he told us the story, and I listened to it, and within the first 30 seconds, I understand where this guy's going. And I told him in a gentle way, I'm like, listen, you're just the middleman, and, you know, your bikes were nice, you guys are solid, so I'm going to be nice to you. And I told him straight, I'm like, God, this is a nanny sissy state. Like, I mean, and to hear this from a boomer. And I got that out of him. He didn't even say it was a boomer, for he was trying to play that confidentiality bullshit. And mind you, the city we went to is a decently sized city, nearly 500,000 people, right? So apparently it also turns out that he knows this boomer that apparently we had this altercation with. And I know I didn't do it. I asked the other guys. They said none of them did it. But we definitely were riding on the sidewalk. And here's the thing. We're not riding on the sidewalk because, you know, we enjoy taking up the sidewalk. We're riding on the sidewalk based on the circumstances. If we can ride on the road, we'll ride on the road. If we can ride on the sidewalk for a while, if there's no pedestrians, we'll do that. Balance, right? We're trying to find the best way to accommodate everybody, not just ourselves too, the cars and the people, right? But there it is. I mean, I sit there and I listen to myself. You piece of shit boomers, you. I guess, like, in this regard, I'm gonna take a page out of female playbook on be a little solipsistic. But in the grand scheme of things, you give no fucks about your civilizations and your nations. You know. You said elbows up and all that. You elected another liberal. Though I gotta say, some of the things with Mark Carney, I am impressed. I think some things she's doing right. So I will give credit what it's due. But again, different topic, another time. But at the same time, my point here is the fact that when it comes to this minor, small, inconsequential things, just to be a pest, just a fucking pest in society, you will raise your voice, you will raise your hand, you will make yourself be known. But when it comes to the grand macro issues that are destroying your civilizations from within, civilizations that your fathers, the silent generation, your fathers and your mothers had a massive hand in putting in order and making it as it is today. Because let's be fucking honest, right? You boomers may have done some good things. I can't take that away from you. But we are coasting off the greatness of silence generation. Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Xers, we really are. And so you guys are included too. And as the economic vampires that you are, obviously you will leech and you will suck before you completely die off. But there we are, right? And baffling to me that the fact that when it comes to the big picture, nothing. You are anti-progress. You are anti-change. You are under the guise like the Schrodinger's cat type of situation. You'll pretend that you're the change. You'll pretend you're progress, but you're anything but that. But when it comes to this being a pest, this minute, inconvenient, small things, you'll be the first one to raise your voice because you're that fucking entitled. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Again, it's your fucking entitlement, right? Honestly, like this video, I touched on boomers and I touched in on females again. And these two groups, I do have a lot of grievances with men, young men in general, But when it comes to boomers, male or female, yeah, I have a really big bone to pick with you. Now, have I seen some good amongst you? Yeah, I have seen exemplary amongst you. But for the most part, even this anecdotal story of mine once again demonstrated to me what you all really are. How spoiled, how entitled, how out of touch with reality you guys all become. And that's why, for myself included, and everybody I meet who, takes my 2 cents, I always tell them, majority of the time when a boomer gives you advice, the only thing you can do is go to the toilet, take a shit, and wipe your ass with it. There's nothing else you can do. And with that being said, I'm going to end it off with that. Thank you for watching, and like and subscribe. Like I said, I want to get a big correspondence going on here.